ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
So let us see the text. So we saw up to the first two verses in this paragraph. So the final sentence after the two verses. I think we have to go through the two verses. Ekatra dikshitaha tantre siddhante va dvijotamaha kriyam na kuryat anyatra karshanadi chaturmukha. O four-faced Lord, last word, chaturmukha, chatur four, mukha face. O four-faced Lord, O Lord Creator, ekatra in one place, dikshitaha, a man initiated, and he must be the best twice born. Dvija uttamaha. Dvija is, we call it a Brahmin or Brahmanaha in Sanskrit. Brahmin, the same spelling in English. Not exactly, Brahmin. So Dvija Uttamaha, the best person. So Tantre va Siddhante, either in Tantra or in the Siddhanta. So Tantre Siddhante, why Tantre Siddhante are different? We call it Tantra Siddhanta also. Tantre meaning only that Tantra. Siddhanta meaning all the other three, namely Mantra Siddhanta, then Siddhantara Siddhanta and Agama Siddhanta. Right. So these are the three. Kriyam na kuryat anyatra. Anyatra means elsewhere. That means if he is initiated only in Tantra Siddhanta, he cannot do it, he cannot perform according to some other tradition. He has to stick to his own tradition only. He kriyam na kuryat. Action cannot be performed. Rather, it is active voice only. He should not perform action. Anyatra, elsewhere, karshanadi chaturmukha. Karshanadi, karshanam is, as we say, invoking the Lord on the idol. Karshanam is akarshanam, attracting the spirit of the Lord into the tangible figure of the idol. So acharyakam arthat ritvijyam. Sorry, acharyakam atha ritvijyam. Puja adnyam madhuvidvishaha. Mantra tantra bhede cha siddhanta bhede picha niyujyate. The person who has learnt the Tantra Siddhanta, he is not eligible to become a preceptor. So when we say the word for Bhattacharya, the priest in the temple, Bhatta Acharyaha we say. Bhattaha means scholar, Acharyaha means preceptor. So Bhattacharya, he must be a preceptor, he must be a scholar also. A preceptor should be a scholar. All scholars cannot become preceptors. The reverse is true. Preceptors must have scholarship. So Acharya come. So if he wants to be a preceptor, then Ritvidyam. Suppose in the sacrifice, he wants to be a Ritvik. Ritvik means performer of sacrifice. There are three types of Ritviks. Udghata, Adharyuhu. The third one. So I think it's Udghata, Adharyuhu, and one more. Three people.
Hota,
Yajamana is
Hota,
different. Sponsor.
Hota, Hota Brahma.
Hota. That's right. Very good. Raghunamanji, thanks to you. Hota, Adharyuhu, Udghata. So Hota is one who offers oblations into the fire. So Homa, it becomes Hota. Homaha is a fire ritual. Hota is oblation giver. Adharyuhu, he is chief of the sacrifice. Adharam is sacrifice. Adharaha means sacrifice. And then Udgata is generally a Samavedi. He may be a Samavedin in order that he sings the mantras. Generally, Udgata also means one who pronounces the scriptural words, spells. If the person who has studied Tantra Siddhanta wants to do puja, worship, puja adhyam, puja worship, we call it Tiruvaradhanam in Vaishnava Sampradaya. Otherwise, the Tiru becomes Shri, that's all. Very simple. Venugopalan Swami can understand easily. If there is any doubt, you can ask on the end of the session. So, puja adhyam meaning puja, the worship, etc. Madhuvidvishaha of Lord Vishnu. Madhu is the name of the demon who was born out of Lord Vishnu himself. From the chest, as we say. The chest is abode of many things. The one is Kaustubham, the gem, Srivatsam, the scar, Mahalakshmi, of course, nearby, very near. So Mahalakshmi is on the chest, divine chest. And then 7 sages came out of the Lord's chest, Saptarashayaha. And again, Chandrama Manaso Jataha, Purushottam says the moon was born from the mind. So mind, when you say, where is the mind? So then generally you will show the heart. Heart is a physical part and mind is a abstract, subtle part. So you combine the brain with heart. The brain and heart are physical parts. And that combination is mind. So without brain, we cannot have mind. Without heart also, we cannot have mind. So mind is common to that. So Chandrama Manaso Jataha. So moon is also born out of mind. Mind will be in the heart. So it cannot be from the head. So here, so Pujadyam, Madhu, then Vidvishaha. Madhu is the demon. Madhusudanaha is the name of the Lord, another name of the Lord. Dvishaha means enemy. Actually, Dvishaha is what we call possessive case, genitive case. Tamil Aram Vetrumi. English genitive case. In English, it's called genitive case. In Sanskrit, same thing in Tamil, Shashti Vibhakti. So, of the Lord. So, Dvit is the basic word. Dvit. D-V-I-T. T capital. Dvit meaning enemy. Madhudvit meaning enemy to the demon called Madhu. The word Madhu also means sweet, honey, and so on. He is not sweet because he is a demon. opposite by name in character. And then Vidvishaha is staunch enemy. What you call the Vairi in Sanskrit, Vairi. Very, very, very angry with the demon. So Vidvishaha. And Madhu Vidvishaha, he is a great enemy of the demon called Madhu. So of the great enemy of the demon called Madhu, puja, the worship. When we say worship of Sriman Narayana, neither the person who has studied the Tantra Siddhanta can hope to become a preceptor, Acharya, and Ritvijyam, and Ritvik in a sacrifice. And when you say he has studied also Tantra Bhedaha, the differences in tradition of the procedure, Tantra Bhede, Siddhanta Bhede. So he has studied the divisions under Siddhanta also. So again, remember, it all refers to Tantra Siddhanta only here. The previous Siddhanta means all the other three Siddhantas, namely Mantra, Agama, and Siddhantara. Whereas here, Siddhanta Bhede is among the Mantra Siddhantas. Mantra Siddhantas. Then, so among the Mantra Siddhantas, if he is adept, ADEPT, then na yujyate. He is not eligible to perform worship of Lord Vishnu, who is the enemy of demon, Madhu. Iti uktva, thus saying, punaha again, api upari upari, api also. Here it is not even, it means also. So punaha again, api also. So upari upari tantra sthitanam. So you go up and up, upari upari, up and up. When you go to understand that there are people who mastered the tantras, tantra siddhanta, tantra sthitanam. So if you go on and understanding many better scholars in the tantra siddhanta, then again you go from the top to the bottom. Adaha, adaha. You go to the bottom. You reach the bottommost tantradhikari. That is one who has studied less and less tantra siddhanta. So adhikaritvam uktam. So rights are now being said. RIGHTS. If you go up and up, meaning that you are eligible to do puja. When you go down and down, in the sense, less known one who has less known tradition, that is mantra, agama, tantra, and so on. Here, especially tantra. If one does not know exactly the full effect of procedures, that means if he has not mastered the procedures, then he is not. I mean, what is his right? Now we are going to discuss what is his right. If an expert is there who has understood everything, then what will be his right? So these two types of rights are being discussed now. So again, uparitana tantra adhikarina adhastana tantreshu tattanmargena karane adhikara. Now you might have seen in temples, there will be some main priests, important priests, and there will be helpers to the priest. They might also have studied the books of Pancaratra, but they are not allowed to perform puja. That means they have less knowledge, paricharakaha. They have less knowledge. They are assistants as long as till they learn everything. They may be promoted to the priest, and he will be a full-fledged priest when he understands everything. Now we are the same word which we saw earlier, upari upari and adaha adaha. it is given in some other form. Uparitana, so up and up, tantradhikarinam, so those who have rights to perform the procedures. That means they are very, very much conversant with the procedures. They understood completely. Then adhastana tantreshu. Now there are some traditions which are lower in status. So they studied that tantrantara also. That's why we call it tantrantara siddhanta. So among the books on procedure, we have less quality books. Then these tantradhikaris, namely the rightful priests of tantra procedure, will have to follow this, that relevant path. Tattan margena, meaning marga means path, approach. Their approach must be in the relevant, what we call lower status tantras, and then they will have right, karane adhikara. While performing action, they have rights. So meaning, again, there will be very fine temples. I won't say as in size, big temples, not in size, great temples. Even here you find that some temples are great, very much valued, very much respected. And you have Alvar's Mangala Shasanam. Good wishes have come from, in the form of songs from the apostles of Sri Vaishnavism. We call them Divya Desham, Divya Deshaha, the place called holy place, divine place, because the apostles of Sri Vaishnavism, Alvars have sung on it. So in such a great temple, the priests will have more knowledge. That's the understanding. So the smaller temples, not only size and greatness, if they are less in greatness, then they will have a lesser priests, quality less priests. So tantrantare tatha tantra mantra siddhanta vartmani. Again, when you probe into understanding the tantrantara siddhantas, even among the procedural books, then it will have a mantra siddhanta. In the tantra siddhanta itself, there will be quotations from scriptures. There will where the incantation of scripture must be done, where the chanting of the scriptural injunctions must be carried out. So all these instructions will be there in Tantrantara Siddhanta. So we have to go along the path of that Tantra Siddhanta, combining the Mantra Siddhanta. Then, so when somebody is initiated, or here it is plural, so Dikshitanam Karmena Eva. So according to the knowledge and experience of the initiated priest, he indeed Upari Yogata. They will join the higher class up and up. Upari Yogata. Yogataha, again, there can be two types of shades of meaning. Yoga meaning meditation, dhyanam. They themselves realize the meaning once they go through the basics of Tantra Siddhanta. And from Tantrantara Siddhanta, they understand more. By meditation, they can understand more. Yogataha. That is again meaning practice. In Bhagavad Gita, you get the proverb, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. If one wants to become an expert, Dakshaha we say in Sanskrit, so expert in a particular subject, he has to practice it. Practice it is actually a repetition of the practice. Yoga is repetition of the practice. Even the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga are all repetitions of the exercise. We say yoga is exercise. We are not talking of the, we may be including in the physical exercise also, Hatha Yoga. At the same time, we are mental discipline. Yoga is mental discipline that we must imbibe by reading the books by ourselves. So that will become what we call meditation. So while you repeat the actions that in a particular yoga, karma, jnana, bhakti, and prapatti. So when we read mantra siddhanta, tantra siddhanta, tantrantara siddhanta, our thinking over these books will give us some realization. A sudden flash also. A sudden flash will come to our mind. Oh, so far I have been doing this. So it is better that I change and do this from today onwards. Now, what will be the right of others? Those who have not studied such books. Then anyesham adhikaraha syat. Others also will have some right. Anyesham of others. Adhikaraha right, R-I-G-H-T. Syat may have. They may be rights for others. But it is based on tat samskara purut. It depends upon the family in which they were born, tradition that they follow, the innate impression of the previous birth in the subconscious mind, all will contribute to their right. So without latent impressions of the previous birth, they may not have the right to do the puja, the worship. So how to understand by oneself whether one has got samskara or not, tradition or not. It is very easily understood by the behavior of elders and youngsters. Youngsters will have to emulate the elders and they will have samskara. Recently, in the last year when I gave the discourses on Tirupavai in a village called Nammanguruchi near Tanjavur, that is about 1.5 hours from here, 2 hours of travel by car. The priest in that temple, Daivanayaka is the name of the Lord. Actually, the Daivanayaka idol was brought from Vanamamalai. Vanamamalai is a very great kshetra. Kesavadas Swami and you also may know. So that idol was brought, even the Mulavar, what you call the main figure. The Utsava idol was brought from some other kshetra. That means the temple was a recent temple. And in that temple, the priest was there. Priest is there by name Challappa. But it is said that he did not study books. And he learnt it learnt by practical wisdom how other priests, good priests, did worship in a place called Mannargudi, where Rajagopala is the name of the Lord. So why I say this is, he has been adored that without learning properly under a preceptor, he observed and watched and then learned. This is how we say about Periyalvar today. Guru Mukham Anadhitya Praha Vedan Asheshan. In the Taniyan of Periyalvar, we used to say in Sanskrit, he did not go to a preceptor. Guru Mukham Anadhitya. And he will say Ekalavya immediately. The name comes to our mind from Mahabharata. Drona's student without Drona. Ekalavya learnt, and of course his knowledge became futile because he was better than all other Pandavas, Since Drona was his best teacher, Ekalavya was, I think, maybe on the side of Duryodhana, and therefore he has to be subdued. Guru Dakshina was asked, and then he said, whatever you want, I will give. Then Drona said, please give me, cut your thumb and give. That is very essential for sending arrows from the bow. It's very essential for every action, especially war. And therefore, so this story has been known. So whereas Periyalvar, Vishnu Chitta by name, who blessed the Lord by Tirupallandu, did not study under a preceptor. Guru Mukham Anaditya. Online, by post, Patra Dwara, we say, correspondence course, open university course, something like that. So, Guru Mukham Anaditya Praha said, Asheshan Veda. All scriptures have been said by him when a king tested him. King put a test to scholars. And therefore, Periyalvar got a booty, B-O-O-T-Y, which was hanging over the head. Actually, it's provided by, offered by the king. And actually, he snatched it away. He snatched it away. Kili Aruttan. Kili is the name of the, what you call booty. A very good, costly price, money in gold coins and so on. Vedangal Odi Viraindu Kili Aruttan. This is an adjective for Periyalvar. So he chanted scriptures and he himself cut off the rope where the booty was hanging. The prize was hung. So here, so now next verse. Karana Agama Siddhanta Nishtena Anyehi Stribihi Sada Archaniyam Atha Anyabhyam Mantra Siddhantina Tatha. Now there is a new term added here with Agama Siddhanta. Agama Siddhanta, as we understand, it is temple procedure. Whereas Mantra Siddhanta is scriptural procedure. Agama Siddhanta. Agama also means scripture, but let us not mince it. Agama Siddhanta is temple procedures, Pancaratra tradition. Karana is cause, C-A-U-S-E. But whereas this new term must be understood later. So, Karana Agama Siddhanta Nishtena. So that means we probe into the root cause of the Agama Siddhanta, how it differs from Mantra Siddhanta, how it is in union with Mantra Siddhanta, what are the differences and similarities between Mantra Siddhanta and Agama Siddhanta. Then if a person is engaged completely, Nishtena, he concentrated on this cause for reason for Agama Siddhanta. That means the reason for the usage of Agama Siddhanta, the usefulness of Agama Siddhanta. Then Anyehi Tribihi Sada. The other three, we were talking about Tantra Siddhanta. So we are now, what about the three? Namely again, what do we say? Mantra, Agama, and Tantrantara Siddhanta. These three. So Anyehi, that is the priest belonging to the study of this Mantra, Agama, and Siddha, Tantrantara Siddhantas, these three, Sada always, Archaniyam. The Lord must be worshipped. Archana is saying the divine names and offering flowers or basil leaves, Tulasi. Asimam sanctum is the botanical name for Tulasi. Asimam sanctum. Even in English, it is very beautiful. Sanctum. It's a holy leaf. Now here, so Archaniyam Atha, then Anyabhyam, by the other two. So we are now coming from 4, 3, and 2. So Anyabhyam. So again, understanding the basic cause of these Tantra Siddhantas, the two people who know only mantra and agama, sorry, agama and tantrantara, these two. Then lastly, you can come down to one, mantra siddhantina tatha. So now from 4 to 1 we have come. How those who are familiar with in deep knowledge with all the 4 siddhantas, mantra, agama, tantra, tantrantara. If one is an expert in all the 4 tantra, 4 siddhantas, then they can perform puja to Lord Vishnu in the name of Madhu with Visha, Madhu with Vit. Here, one more point that I want to add here is, when we want to worship the Lord, it is not a mechanical worship. It should be a deep involvement over thinking of the auspicious qualities of the Lord. That is more important. We are not talking about simply physical actions and mental chanting, but bhakti is also involved. Devotion is involved. How? The devotion is involved in the of course prapatti is also involved while we fall at the feet, divine feet. So we must enjoy the qualities. That's what I want to drive the point here. So enjoy the qualities of the Lord while doing aradhanam. Aradhanam itself is we are trying to please the Lord, make him happy. And archaniyam matha anyabhyam mantra siddhantina tatha. So one by one, when the knowledge is less and less, then a person who knows mantra siddhanta will be also doing worship, but in a limited manner. So archana must be done. Archana must be done by all the four. Whether they are one or two. So one has understood all the 4 siddhantas, one has understood 3, one has understood 2, and one has understood only 1. So all the 4 are eligible to do archana. Archana is a form of worship, a form of bhakti, you say, out of 9. Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. This is the second half of the verse. Number 1 is, first half of the verse is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. So out of the 9 ways of bhakti, Archanam is one. Use the hands. Use the hands, very important. Not only, so initially, of course, Manasika Aradhanam we can do. So you can even offer, I told you many times, you can offer costly, rather gold flowers. If you want, say, platinum. If platinum metal is costlier than gold, then use platinum. So platinum flowers. Why? Or what you call silver flowers. Less and less. But archanam has been done. Left hand holds the vessel containing flowers. And I told you the basil leaf also. Tiruttura we say in Tamil. And then offer the God with the right hand. So let us not question about the left-handers. They may keep it on the right hand, flowers on the right hand, left. Generally, we use the right hand. So here, pujaniyam atha anyena tantra siddhantina anisham. Bilva leaves for goddess Mahalakshmi. Since Lord Shiva is worshipped by Bilva leaves, his sister, we are supposed to think of her as sister of Lord Shiva, and therefore even in the Srirangam temple, if you have visited Venugopala Swami, we have the Sri Suktam proved by the presence of the Bilva tree in the Prakara, in the circumambulatory place of Sri Ranganayika in Srirangam. आदित्यवर्णे तपसोऽधिजातो वनस्पतिस्तव वृक्षोऽथ बिल्वः तस्य फलानि तपसानुदन्तु मायान्तरायाश्च बाह्या लक्ष्मीः. These two lines tell us that is in the Sri Suktam. Sri Suktam. Yeah. And again, if you see in the Bilva fruit, we may see even sometimes Shiva Lingam. Yeah. So here, that is also another flower. I think there is another flower which has got Shiva Lingam in the middle and umbrella like, rather Adishesha like covering. I think that's a flower. I think Raghunamanji will be able to, or even Keshadasan. Datura. Some other name in Tamil. I think it will come with linga. The word linga will be there. It's not Nityalingam, but some other. So here, bilva leaves are used. And we can believe the statement of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Any leaf can be chosen for worship, but Tulasi, Tiruttura is specially meant for it. And even among the flowers, it is said that some flowers can be offered to Lord Nagalingam, right? Nagalingam. Right. It's a Nagalingam flower. Naga, the Adishesha like umbrella like shape of the flower, and in the middle you have phallus, PHALLUS. So you have. So what I would say is the bilva leaves. Generally, as of all of us know, the medicinal properties of these two, the basil leaves and bilva leaves. Bilva leaves removes what we call diabetes, controls diabetes, and basil leaves help you to remove cough, cold, what you call all diseases related to lungs, serious bronchitis, asthma, pneumonia. So all this. Let me not give more lists. I'm only a PhD and not a doctor, MBBS. So here, because I want to avoid these names of even disease, but why? In WhatsApp, they every day mention only disease. So previously Corona and today another one, variant of Corona. So let us not worry about it. So Pujaniyam. So previously, Omicron. So previously it was Archaniyam. Please note the word in the previous page. Archaniyam was the word. Here it is Pujaniyam. So Atha then, Pujaniyam Atha then, Anyena, somebody else, by someone else, Tantra Siddhantina, again the word Tantra Siddhantina occurs. So that means a person very familiar or very familiar with difference between Archaniyam is Pujaniyam means Puja is a whole worship. The entire worship called Puja. Starting from the point 1 and ending with the Paryankasana. Whereas that's what I mean. Archaniyam is simply adoring the Lord with the names. Sadasanas. If you write it in English, it will be really sad asana. So Sadasana, Archana in Mantrasana. While after the Bhojasana, after you offer food, we have Archana. I mean, you can take it anywhere. Punar Mantrasana. In Punar Mantrasana, of course, we take any opportunity or any gap between two asanas to offer flowers. called Archana. Satramurai involves a lot of special verses where we offer the flowers and tulasi leaves also, right? Archanam can be done alone. Archanam can be done alone. So out of the 9 types of devotion, mere Archana also will do. And in temple it's very special, no? Because you all come and what do you say? What do you say? You tell your name, birth star, Gotram, if you have a family common sage, and then ask him for welfare, your welfare. I'm always amused by the priest's statement. Priest does archana for all visitors, and he expects money in also. Not only that, if you give a plate of what you call coconut, flowers, kumkum, chandanam, all these things, then they do it once for many people. Only one time recitation of the name for many people. He has no time to, and he limits the names to a certain number, very small number. And if you give more money, he will recite all the names, 108 possible. So here, when basil leaves and flowers are offered during Satramurai, so when we say the last 2 Tirupavais, Chitranjirhale and Vangakadal, then we adore Ramanujacharya, Sarvadesha Dasha Kaleshu, Sarvadesha Dasha Kaleshu, we start with that. And then after Ramanuja, we say according to Sampradaya, either it is Manavala Mamuni or Swami Vedanta Deshika, we say the Satramurai. At that time of saying the Tamil verses and even Sanskrit verses, we offer what you call Archana, flowers and leaves. So what should be done? No, where should be done? So Anisham, when should be done? Anisham. Can we do it 24/7? Anisham meaning daily. Simply meaning daily. But Nisha means night. So day and night. So in temple we'll have morning and evening pujas. So at home we normally do only in the morning. And if I told you the last time also, when you prepare food, new fresh food items for the evening, night, supper, then we have to offer them at least mentally, but not do comprehensive puja as we do in the morning. So that is why pujaniyam, puja. So anisham means daily. Anisham means daily. Once itself is very difficult for anisham. So svena tantrantarena eva. So, for example, I am said to belong to by my grandmother. I don't know. My grandfather also did not know. My father also, I think, followed his mother. So I was told by my grandmother that we belong to Pancaratra. I could not question the proof. So one family belongs to Vaikhanasa, the other one is Pancaratra. I don't know previously as a young boy, I don't know what Pancharatra is, and then what is the difference between Pancharatra and Vaikhanasa? We do not know. So in the same, see, why I say this is our primary tradition. So Svena Tantrantarena. So among the Pancharatra tradition, suppose I call myself coming under the Pancharatra tradition, then I must also have the knowledge of the choice of the book under the Pancharatra tradition. And therefore, which Tantra I am following? Padma Samhita, Parameshwara Samhita, Ishvara Samhita, and so on. Sheep Prashna Samhita. So whether I belong to a place called Srirangam or Kumbakonam, Tirukudandai, as we say, where Aramudalvan, Aparyaptamritaha is the name of the Lord. Komalavalli is the name of the goddess. So in that way, so I have to find out whether I belong to Tirunarayanapuram, Melkote. So what kind of tradition that I follow, what kind of tantrantara I follow, my elders follow. So Svena Tantrantarena eva, don't deviate from that, your family tradition. Pujaniyam, worship must be done. Swake grihe, in your house, in your own house, whether it is rented or not, with your own house. Swake grihe. Atrapi. We will read the sentence, of course, take the meaning little later. So, atrapi, utkrishta siddhanta stitenapi. Shall we see the footnote under one? There is nothing, if there is nothing, api, koshe nasti. The word api is not there, that's all. Let us take the paragraph. Atra api. So the word api comes twice here, therefore one api has to be missed. Atra api, utkrishta siddhanta stitena api. So apakrishta siddhanta sthaneshu, tattat siddhanta prakarayana eva. Does it mean that please show me again the chat question. Prakare, sattat siddhanta prakarayana eva, pujaniyatvam uktam. Here too, atra api, here too. Even here, api can mean TOO and even EVEN. So here too, that is in this context, utkrishta siddhanta sthitena api. A person who has understood the best tradition. What is the best tradition? I will call my tradition as the best tradition. You will call your tradition as the best tradition. Utkrishta siddhanta sthitenapi. Though I am attached to the best tradition, apakrishta siddhanta sthaneshu. Suppose as a priest, I go to another temple where another siddhanta is being followed. I'm asked to help. I think it may not be switching over from Pancaratra to Vaikhanasa. Suppose I am asked to do Vaikhanasa worship, how can I do it without knowledge? Therefore, among the differences of the Pancaratra tradition, if I am asked to help another priest in his absence, then we must follow the procedure which the priest in absence was following in that particular temple. That is very important. So, apakrishta siddhanta sthaneshu. Apakrishta meaning deviated from. Tattat siddhanta prakarena eva. Only by the methods of siddhanta followed in that particular temple, pujaniyatvam uktam. Puja must be worshipped as it is said, uktam said. The eligibility of the particular tantra, that is siddhanta, is very important. Utkrishta siddhanta sthitasya. Again, a person who is an expert in the best tradition, swasthane, in his own house, in his own temple, swasthane, in his own place, in his own temple, in his own house. The apakrishta siddhanta prasanga abhava. You cannot follow other temples' procedures in your own temple. That means the ones by tradition this is my family progeny. If I become the priest of a particular temple, I am not eligible to become permanently the family priest of another temple. I cannot create a new family tradition in another temple where originally I do not belong to. Apakrishta siddhanta prasanga abhava. Prasanga context, abhava in the absence of the context where you cannot use in your own temple, in your own house, some other deviated Siddhanta. Ataha, therefore, eva. He, indeed, anantaram, later, evam, this way, uchyate, being said.
So Swami, does it mean that the temple priest he has to do the temple style worship in his house also?
No, that's what it mentioned. It's mentioned there. So Sake Grihe Kim Kartavyam, what is to be done in his house and what is to be done in the temple. Temple Agama tradition is different from Griha Agama tradition. Though we call it Agama Siddhanta in general, Mantra Siddhanta in general, and we must go through the Grihya Sutras for understanding how worship is done at home. And you learn it from your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and so on. It's not, see, your and mine Siddhantas may be Pancaratra. But between you and me, there will be a difference. Because minor difference. And since, I failed to take from my grandfather, but because LIFCO publications are there, we understood it should be common to our family also. We don't know. There are families even today, those who know the tradition well from their grandfathers, ancestors, then they do it differently, little differently. Now, the difference will be addition of shlokas, not reduction of shlokas. It will be generally one will be saying more verses in Tamil or Sanskrit, not less. If you, of course, down the order, if you come in the reverse order, one may find less and less shlokas. And somebody was asking me whether I can follow Laghu Thiruvaradhanam, Laghu Thiruvaradhanam by Lifco. So that means the only shortage of time is there. Shortage of time involves less chanting of the shlokas. And what you said is, you showed me another question. So a particular Kula Devata, if you want to say particular Kula Devata, it is not based on Kula Devata. We mention the name. Suppose I have Tirupati Srinivasa as Kula Devam, titular deity. Then I mention the word Srinivasa, that's all. Otherwise, or Ranganath. There is no special difference. For example, in Archanam, I found a difference in Pomona, New York. That is followed everywhere. Meaning, so when I said 108 names of the Lord generally for Ranganatha, every time when I say the single name of Lord Srinivasa, I was asked to add Sri Venkateshaya Namaha. I don't know why. That will become 216. So 216 times I'm saying it takes a lot of time. So we now shift to Laghu Thiruvaradhanam, simplified one. And there's no difference. In fact, it's a very curious fact to know when you perform worship to Hanuman. I have also done it in the Ranganagar temple of Hanuman. What do you do for Hanuman? So Hanuman's names can be recited. Apart from that, we worship with Purusha Suktam, Taittiriya Upanishad on Hanuman. So there is no special worship which I have heard or seen in books for especially Hanuman. For Kubera, there is a special procedure. The Lord of Wealth. So we pray for wealth, and then Lakshmi Kubera Puja is there in the books. Lakshmi Kubera Puja. We combine both Lakshmi and Kubera and worship those gods. But again, again there is a Lakshmi Narayana Hridayam. There is something called Lakshmi Narayana Hridayam. See, the common thread among all this is repeat the divine names, understand and repeat, enjoy the qualities of the Lord with minor differences. Archanam. So we say do Laksharchana for Hanuman. So all the Hanuman's adjectives are there. So many adjectives are there. So 108 names are repeated. 108 names only belong to Hanuman. So we say all the names. But in between you get the name Rama and so on. But Krishna will not come for Hanuman, though Hanuman is a what you call long-living person, Chiranjeevi, and he lived in Mahabharata times also. But there is no mention of Krishna along with the name of Hanuman. And in fact, the story, I think Venugopalanji and Raghuram might have known this. Bhima meets Hanuman. Bhima meets Hanuman in Mahabharata. Hanuman being the Vayuputra, Bhima also being the Vayuputra, the son of the wind god. There is a tussle between them. The monkey is lying down on the path trodden by Bhima. And since Hanuman was Chiranjeevi and Bhima wanted to cross the road, and the tail of Hanuman was across the road. Then Hanuman, he asked the monkey to move away the tail, but he doesn't budge. He said, you remove the tail, rather push away the tail and go. He could not push the tail away. And that showed the greater strength of Hanuman, because he was the elder brother, rather, you can say elder brother. Bhima is a later addition to Vayu family. In this one, Madhvas worship both Hanuman, Vayu, Hayagriva they worship, Madhvacharyas. Dvaitins worship Hayagriva, Hanuman, Vayu. I don't know, Bhima, I think Bhima also they are worship. Again, so another beauty in Sanskrit is Chiranjeevi, we say, a long-living person, a permanent immortal. An immortal can be called as Chiranjeevi. But if you say just remove only one consonant there, it means crow. Chiranjeevi means crow. The crow lives longer than I think any other bird or any other animal like. So in the bird species, crow lives longer. And we used to say crow is available in almost all countries. Almost all countries, crow is seen. And even in cold regions, we may find. So crow is a universal bird. Chiranjeevi is, where do you get this usage? King Bhoja used it in Ramayana, in his, what you call, Bhoja Champu. Ramayana Champu. It's a prose poem work where he uses the word Chiranjeevi. It's a very beautiful, relevant usage, because when crow did the harm to Sita, Rama sent the grass, a blade of grass, as the Brahmastra, the creator's missile, towards it for the mistake done. And then it could not get refuge in any other god, including his father Indra. So it came back, and then Rama removed one eye vision. And therefore, it still continued to live after the punishment. And that's why we called it Chiranjeevi. all GV long, G long, V long, Chirajivi. Nakaranta Pullinga Shabda, last letter is N, masculine gender word. Why these are all some curious facts. And he said, Rama gave the right name to the crow. That is a meaningful name to the crow. Or the crow's name has been made meaningful by Rama. The crow's name was made meaningful by Rama. These are some extra information. Which I don't know whether you enjoy it or like it. Okay.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो